I don't know about the rest of the world, but if this doesn't show you just how rotten and despicable Gypsy Rose Blanchard is, I don't know if there's any helping you. Gypsy Rose Blanchard says she didn't enjoy sex with ex Ryan Scott Anderson, despite once saying that the D is fire. Gypsy Rose Blanchard isn't holding back when it comes to her tumultuous love life. The famed victim, supposed self-proclaimed victim of undiagnosed Munchausen by proxy 33, whose gripping new memoir, My Time to Stand, will be released today, December 10th, has finalized her divorce from her ex, Ryan Scott Anderson, and is currently happily with boyfriend Ken Urker. In an exclusive interview with People this week, she opens up about their sex life and what went on behind closed doors that helped encourage her decision to call it quits. I still struggled when I first came out of prison, Blanchard says, of her sex life, after being released from Missouri's Chillicothe Correctional Facility, where she served 8 years of a 10-year sentence for her part in the murder of her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard. No, it wasn't her part. She's the one that planned and solicited somebody else. She's the one that's guilty of premeditated first degree. There wasn't just a part. It happened because of her, solely because of her. And underneath the Missouri statute, go look it up. Go look it up. Anybody over the age of 18 who knowingly causes the death of another person. But the fact that she does all of this to him and then still finds a way to turn her all around and make it all about her, while jabbing him and hitting below the belt. At the time, Blanchard took to social media to share how pleased she was with Anderson, a Louisiana special education teacher who she'd wed behind bars in 2022 after she and Urker ended their previous engagement, which was over 4 years prior. That's not even relevant at this time. She and Anderson consummated their marriage shortly after her release. Don't listen to the haters, she commented on one of Anderson's Instagram posts in January, defending him against an onslaught of negative comments he was receiving. Besides, they jealous because you are rocking my world every night, she added. Yeah, I said it. The D is fire. Now, Blanchard shares that she's a liar from those previous statements. What she says now and what really happened, Ryan and my sex life was not ideal. I told him privately. Maybe it was a lack of attraction in that area, or if I still wasn't processing properly. In her new memoir, Blanchard opens up about the horrifying SA she says she suffered as a child, as well as, she claims, with ex Nicholas Godejohn. That's bullshit, Gypsy, and you know it. Who's currently serving a life sentence for her mother's murder, but has never been charged in connection with the alleged SA. She also describes instances of experimenting with her sexuality in prison, although she says she was never able to fully enjoy the experiences. According to Blanchard, all of that has changed after reconnecting with Urker. When Ken came into the picture again, you've got to understand there was 7 years of built-up tension there, and it was amazing, she says, of their first sexual encounter. I was able to feel comfortable with him. Though past sexual trauma still haunts her at times, mostly I've gotten past that. There are times that it's kind of like, if I'm uncomfortable, I will voice that. But I'm very open and vocal with Ken about my needs. That's how you know something didn't happen, because if you are one of the many women, men, or children that ever is going to suffer SA in their life, you know, you never just get past that. It's a bliss, she says, has led to her greatest gift. That's how we conceived our baby girl, she says proudly of expecting little Aurora early next year. I had a great first 2 trimesters, amazing, no morning sickness. It was so peaceful, she says. But now that I'm in my 3rd trimester and the 8th month, I can't sleep, I can't breathe, I can't do anything. Still, she's at peace. With her parole ending next year, I'm really excited to just obviously bring her into the world and have a lot of family time together. I'm transitioning to a more private life, but it's going to be a slow transition. But you said you were leaving social media. That means permanently delete. Bye. Oh, but she wants to be on social media when she has to do her contractual legal agreements, like promoting. People also ran this. Gypsy Rose Blanchard X. Glad saga is over and he won't trade insults. Conducted himself like a gentleman. A lawyer for Ryan Anderson shares an exclusive statement with people amid the finalization of his divorce from Gypsy Rose Blanchard and her recent comments to people. Ryan Scott Anderson said he's relieved to be moving on. Congratulations to you, Ryan, and good for you. A lawyer for the Louisiana school teacher who was married to Gypsy Rose Blanchard, like that's not an accomplishment, dude. For 4 months before she filed for divorce in April 2024, tells people in an exclusive statement that Anderson, 38, is happy to be closing this chapter after finalizing the divorce. Ryan Anderson was aware that the divorce was taking place today. Attorney Randy J. Fierst said in a statement, he's always conducted himself as a gentleman and a good husband. He did not seek this divorce, but is now glad that this saga in his life is over and he looks forward to a healthy new beginning. In an exclusive interview this week, ahead of the release of her highly anticipated memoir, My Time to Stand, Blanchard, 33, shared details of her marriage to Anderson and private issues that arose. Ryan and my sex life was not ideal, I told him privately. Maybe it was a lack of attraction in the area, or if I still wasn't processing properly, she says. Another issue for Blanchard was an intense argument they had. He got in her face and screamed. Friend Nadia Vizier, 23, said exclusively in April to People magazine. Gypsy said that she was afraid he was going to hit her. He didn't, but that happened in the past with her mother. So her first instinct was to tighten up and be prepared. But she got to safety and called her lawyer too. Ryan is a big guy, and she told me it was really scary. Anderson has denied such behavior, previously telling people that he was blindsided by how fast events took place. I've done a lot of reflection and I look back at that argument. We were going through a lot. We just got into an argument and that was it. It turned out that was the last time Gypsy was really here. I've only seen her one time after that, he added. Blanchard, who's now expecting her first child with former fiance Ken Erker, tells people that though she's realized early on she was just settling in her marriage, she's reached out to Anderson to make amends. I did extend the offer to have a civil conversation for closure purposes, she says. I'm currently awaiting a response. He waived his right to attend the court date. You know that's bullshit because he messaged you and you blocked him. Of Erker, Anderson previously told people in May, honestly, I feel like he was going to pop up at some point. He was going to rear his head in some way. And at some point, we'd have to deal with this. It just happened so fast, Erker said of their relationship at the time. I'm still processing things. He continued, she's in her freedom phase. That's what she wants to do. I do not know that Gypsy Rose does have love for me and vice versa. Being selfish and chasing your heart should never come at the cost and expense of other people. There's a proper way to handle things and do things. And how she did them is exactly how her mother and her father, Dee Dee and Rod, brought her into the world. No different. In fact, her situation is worse because now she's a convicted murderer who's on parole, who attempted to take a life twice before, bringing a child into the world. The only reason why she's even having this baby with Ken is because he denied her and left her and was with somebody else for over 5 years. She psychologically is obsessed with him and is going to trap him, and it's going to come back to bite her in the ass. But worst of all, it's going to have a negative, lifelong effect on that baby. God willing, not the kind of effect she claims and lies to everybody about that her mother had on her.